All right, everyone, let's talk motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't hit that wall where you just feel kind of stuck?
Yeah, we all have those days where that get-go just isn't, well, going.
But, what if instead of waiting for motivation to just kind of find us, what if there were things we could do to make it, well, stick around a bit longer?
Well, good news, there
And
are.
that's what we're diving deep into today.
Exactly. Some practical tools we can all use to not just get motivated, to stay that way.
And for this deep dive, we're turning to, well, a classic. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Ah, Covey. A wealth of wisdom in there. And a lot of it, well, it's all about, like you said, sustaining that motivation over time.
All right, so habit number 1, be proactive.
Now, proactive, it might sound like just another one of those buzzwords, but there's some real power behind it.
Yeah, it's more than just, taking initiative, right?
Exactly. It's about a mindset shift, really. Instead of feeling like things are just happening to you, you're taking control. You're creating the conditions for motivation to actually thrive.
So it's not waiting for inspiration to strike. You're making your own lightning.
I like that. Yeah, like instead of that writer, waiting for the muse to whisper in their ear, they block out that time. Every day, same time, no distractions. They're making it happen.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about when you've got that initial spark, that excitement for a new project or goal, but then life happens? How do you keep that going?
Well, that takes us to habit number 2, begin with the end in mind.
And by that we mean,
You got to know your why, your real why. Not just, oh, that'd be cool to do, but that deep down gut level reason that's going to keep you going when things get, well, tough.
oh yeah, because we've all started things with like a ton of energy and then
Exactly.
it fizzles out.
Right. So how do you find that why? Or how do you know if it's, I don't know, strong enough?
Well, think of it like this. If your why for, say, wanting to get in shape is just, well, I should probably lose a few pounds,
Yeah.
how long do you think that's going to last when you're faced with, like, a tempting dessert?
Not long. Not long at all. But if it's, I want to be able to play with my grandkids without getting winded, or I want to run that marathon I've always dreamed of, well, that's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, suddenly that slice of cake doesn't seem quite as appealing.
Right. It's about tapping into that emotional core, what truly matters to you, what gets you fired up.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But, even with a strong why, life can get pretty overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
How do we stay focused amidst all the chaos and, well, still feel motivated to keep going?
Well, that's where habit number 3 comes in, putting first things first.
Sounds simple enough. But I think, well, I struggle with this one.
I think we all do. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in those urgent tasks, the ones that are screaming for our attention right now.
Oh, absolutely. Email, phone calls, all those little fires that need putting out.
Right. But are those always the things that truly matter, the things that align with our why and move us closer to our goals?
Good point. So it's not just about being busy. It's about being busy with the right things.
Exactly. It's about intentionally prioritizing those high-value tasks, the ones that, even if they're not urgent, contribute to that bigger picture.
I see. I see. And that actually ties in nicely with habit number 4, right? Sharpen the saw.
Ah, yes. The importance of taking care of yourself.
Okay, but honestly, sometimes like taking a break feels kind of counterproductive, like I should be working, I should be pushing harder.
I get it. It can feel that way, but think of it like this. You can't keep running on empty, right? Sooner or later, you're going to hit a wall.
Yeah, burnout city,
Yeah.
population.
Exactly. And when you're burned out, your motivation goes right out the window. So taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, it's not selfish. It's essential for sustaining that motivation in the long run.
So things like exercise, meditation, getting enough sleep, these actually boost our motivation.
They absolutely can, because they replenish those reserves. They give you the energy and the focus to keep going.
Wow. Okay, so we've talked about being proactive, knowing our why, prioritizing, and recharging. What's next?
Well, let's talk about the power of visualization. Habit number 5, visualize the reward.
Okay. Visualize the reward. I gotta admit, this one always sounded a little, I don't know, fluffy to me.
I know. It can sound a bit like, positive thinking or manifesting and all that, but there's actually some real science behind it.
Really?
Yeah, our brains, they respond to imagined rewards in a very similar way to actual ones.
So just by thinking about achieving our goal, we can actually trigger those feel-good chemicals that keep us motivated.
Exactly. So it's like giving your brain a taste of the satisfaction that awaits you, which then fuels your desire to keep going.
That's kind of cool, actually. So what would that look like in practice?
Well, let's say your goal is to write a book. Instead of just, vaguely thinking about it, you'd actually sit down and create a vivid mental picture. Imagine yourself holding that finished book in your hands, feeling the weight of it, smelling that fresh ink.
Wow, can almost smell it now.
Right. And you imagine like that launch party, sharing it with friends and family, hearing people tell you how much they loved it. The more real you can make that vision, the more motivated you'll feel to actually make it happen.
That's amazing. Really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. And what's really cool is that all of these habits, they work together. They build on each other.
Yeah, like a system for sustainable motivation.
Exactly. And the best part is these are tools anyone can use, no matter what your goals are.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one thing you hope listeners take away from our conversation today?
That motivation, it's not some magical force that comes and goes as it pleases. It's something we can cultivate. We can create the conditions for it to thrive.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, think about those 5 habits. Which one resonates with you most? And how can you start applying it, like right now, to boost your own motivation and get closer to your goals? It's all within your reach. That's the beauty of it. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep those fires burning.